Hey guys, Bassmaster Elite Series Pro Kyle Patrick here with Douglas Rods. Wanted to talk to you about a rod that's near and dear to my heart because it's the first rod I ever held 9 years ago when I stepped into this building, and it's one of my main rods that I still use today, and it's one that I probably will use for the rest of my fishing career, and that's the XMatrix 745. I used this for a ton of different techniques. One that I'm really fond of is dragging a jig. I won Lake of the Ozarks on this rod, dragging a jig. I top 10 the Bassmaster Classic recently with this rod, dragging the same jig. And there's many ways to fish a jig, and this rod really excels at two things. One is being really tight to structure, because it's a 7.4, it's not your typical 7.6 where it feels like a little bit lengthy and it's hard to get tight to structure. But I'm able to skip under docks, get precise cast on wood, in holes in mats, whatever it may be. And then the other way that it excels, is dragging a jig. So making a cast, say, behind a boat dock, and I'm able to literally count the rocks, because what's so crucial when the largemouth are spawning or getting ready to spawn, or even just finicky and they're sitting on rocks, is being able to detect a bite when it's almost impossible to really, when they don't knock slack in or something like that. I just caught a 6.7 in the Classic to make the final day, because I caught that big one, and it was so subtle, and hopefully you guys can watch that bite happen. But this bite is so subtle that I'm feeling rock, 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 and then all of a sudden you don't feel another rock, and you kind of just feel, how you feel like it's almost soft feeling. When I detect that in the rod, I just sweep, and it's got the perfect tip to backbone ratio to where I can just sweep into it, and it still gives it enough of a hook set where the bass isn't spitting it out, but the hook's penetrating. And the specific fish I'm talking about was barely skin hooked. When it jumped, the whole jig was out of its mouth, but it stayed pinned, got it in the boat, and that's just an example of why this rod's so good. You can really set the hook with it, but it also gives you the ability to, it gives you forgiveness, so you don't need to set the hook super hard. You can kind of just lean into it and land more fish.